Namaste. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, we thank you. To all the holy angels, archangels, saints of all traditions, devotees, bodhisattvas, good souls of all walks of life. Thank you. With help, healing, and divine protection. The other day, 2 days ago, I set off from this brig by the sea. And as I'm heading inland, right at the beginning of my loop, there was these two sheep in the road, and they were having a little tussle. And then I seen them like back off from each other, and then they both just charged at each other. It wasn't from such a far distance; it was only like 30 centimeters apart. But the way they struck each other, I saw the water fly off both of their backs, and I thought, "Oh, the poor creature's spines. That looked heavy." And as I was getting closer to them, um, I was still flinching from the shock of that headbutt, straight on headbutt towards each other. And those two sheep, they just, as you probably know, that was only one hit each, and then it was over, and then they both just went back to nibbling grass. And as I'm passing them, I'm just looking at them, and they're both just eating grass as though nothing had ever happened. They weren't holding a grudge. They weren't bitter. It was like water off a head-butted sheep's back. Now, what is that about? Uh, and the other amazing thing is about these sheep-bodied souls is sometimes they go around calling out for each other, looking for each other, and calling out with that childlike call, looking, searching for each other kind of thing. And the other thing they do is like when they get scared, they run a short distance and then they stop and start eating grass again. Now imagine if we were like that if we had some problem, we kind of got out of that conflict zone and then we just got back to the Ananda. We got back to the real business that we're destined to do, is to find that nectar, find that bliss, and not get caught up in just what happened there before. So much of this human anatomy is like over worrying about the past. And these creatures seem to be able to just get straight back into the nectar like that. It's like, let it go and just get back into the nectar. I don't say we should expect that about other people and wrong them. And even ourselves, I don't know, but there's something to be learned from all of these creatures. And that's pretty fascinating. And after seeing the gigantic um, orange and black serpent that simply closed their eyes the night before, when these sheep saw me, I decided to copy what how the serpent reacted to me that was sitting on the ice in the very high mountain threshold. So when the sheep stopped to study me, I would carefully gaze at them, and mentally I was just sending them like gratitude and love and appreciation. And then I knew, because of their curled antennas, that they knew exactly what I was thinking. And then I would remember Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, right? So coming up to New Year soon. So, like that orange and black um, extra large creature, I just closed my eyes. And then when I opened them again, I saw how the sheep would look away in a type of shyness. And this happened a few times. And I chose not to film them because I didn't want to. I could tell that they were actually shy to be exposed in their um, journey or whatever. Even just to be looked at was. And it's the same with cats. If you want to make friends with a cat, you close your eyes to the cat. When you open your eyes to the cat, you will see the cat will be looking the other way. They won't engage you in eye contact. They look the other way. And that is because when you close your eyes to another creature, you come explaining to them that you love them. And for a lot of creatures, closing the eyes with love is like it makes them a bit shy, so they look away. I think, or it's a sign of submission to your love that they look away like that. And then further up the road, I saw this sheep and it had like blue spray, like two lines of blue spray on this sheep, which I've never seen. It looked almost like woad, you know, from the old days or something. Somebody had sprayed that sheep in a particular way. And each one of those flocks of sheep had a different spray on them. So then as I continued up the mountain, I started hearing some wild shouting And I wondered, like, what is this? Who is shouting like this? And there was one man in a long black overcoat out in the pouring rain, and he was walking across the bog. For some reason, he was shouting at the sheep out in the rain, and I don't know why. It didn't seem like there was any plausible reason for that, but maybe he needed to get out of the house. Um, and you know, I don't know. You probably know better than me. But for some reason, he was out there, and he was making some tribal calls, and yeah, it was pretty fascinating stuff out there. I saw some bones on the road. There's all kinds of things happening out there. The weather was awful. Now, some people are out there, they've got the LT1 tests, they've got the LT2 tests. Some people are even going for lactate tests. So, that gentleman, whoever he was, that was shouting really loudly walking across the bogs, we don't know what kind of um, science, as much as he sounded like a wild man, we don't know whether he was doing his LT1s, his LT2s, or possibly even doing his lactate tests. We don't know.